Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the US has now agreed to issue a waiver which allows banks to transfer $6 billion in restricted Iranian funds to Qatar without fear of sanctions. Qatar will then oversee the payout of Tehran's money, which can only be used to buy humanitarian goods for the country. Well, as part of the deal, the White House agreed to release 5 Iranian citizens who are currently being held in the US. Well, for more on this, let's turn to CNN's Natasha Bertrand in Washington. And this has been some time in the making, and it is sensitive and it is complicated. How quickly, firstly, can we expect these Americans jailed until recently and then under house arrest still? How quickly can we expect them to be released, Natasha?
Well, Becky, that remains the big question, and something that the White House reiterated just last night in a statement to us is that no Americans are going to be released this week. So definitely not this week. But look, this is all moving fairly quickly. They reached this kind of interim deal whereby some of those Americans would be placed on house arrest. And now we saw that the Secretary of State did issue a waiver notifying Congress that banks overseas that hold some of these Iranian funds will be able to transfer those funds to a bank in Qatar, and then those funds will be dispersed to Iran, of course, once the American prisoners are released, so that they can use that money for humanitarian goods only. And that's really the key here that the administration has sought to emphasize, is that this is not $6 billion that is simply going straight into Iranian coffers. It is something that is going to be closely monitored not only by Qatar, but also by the U.S. Treasury Department. That is not preventing, of course, Republicans in Congress from criticizing this deal as something that is essentially akin to paying a ransom. And that is how Republicans have framed this, is that there is no way for the U.S. to engage in these kinds of negotiations and deals with Iran in good faith, just given, how Iranian and U.S. relations are at this point and how Iran has proven itself to be not a reliable partner in these instances. But the administration is encouraged by the fact that these negotiations have been proceeding. And so they really see this as the best possible way at this point to get those Americans home, Becky.